in there?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
I had it.
Perfect.
No, it's not.
Perfect. No, you said you had it. I was just finishing the sentence. I didn't know I was just. Okay. Hey everybody, it's me. Messing up the technology.
And me. What up, y'all? What up, everybody?
Go big or go home.
Hey, family. Who was that? Tan talking about 1, 2, 3. Is this mic working?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
You guys, if you heard our lives like 30 seconds ago, you know what we're talking about. We were talking about why do people want to get married? I mean, why do they want to get married?
This is gonna be a good one. I like this.
Yeah, and
But before we do that, let's talk about something else real quick.
you want to talk about Thursday?
Yes, I want to talk about Thursday. Yeah. Thursday.
Mama say it, Mama sound.
7:25 at 7 p.m. at Sandra's Barbecue.
1742 West 99th Street.
Guys, Conversations Overheard is having our next in-person. Yes, and we want you there. We want you there. 1725 West.
1742. 1742.
Don't
West
listen to me.
99th.
Listen out. Yeah.
Right. Listen to the movie phone voice. So we are having an in-person event, and we will have some good food, good conversation, some house music for dancing. The conversation starts at 7 o'clock. Everybody time. 7 o'clock.
I love it. Everybody time.
Everybody time. So be there. 7 p.m. And I'm looking forward to it because they have some damn good cornbread at Jen's.
They have good food, period.
It knocks me off my square every time. I mean, I tremble just driving past that place.
Kim, you're gonna have to let other
I'm going to have to let it
people.
go.
No, you're gonna have to let other people have cornbread.
But the
Like-
serving size
Okay.
is so humongous.
Huge.
Oh my gosh. It's like incredible.
It's like
incredulous.
It's like a cake. But I mean, it's really good. So
If we get out of here on time today, I'm gonna slide past there and get me a piece.
Even in the rain?
With the rain.
in Chicago, it's storming. It's about to PO down.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
It's about to PO down.
that cornbread work in Westwood.
Oh my God,
Our
it's so
chances.
good. It's so good, you guys. So meet us there. Get your tickets online. Go to Conversations Overheard branded page or one of our personal pages, and go to Eventbrite and get your ticket for this Thursday at 7 p.m.
And let's not forget, after the conversations, the hot topics, after the light bites, we are having house music by DJ
House
Clay.
music.
That's right. You know, July is dedicated to house music. So, in the theme of that, we're going to get our boogie on.
Yes.
DJ Clay.
DJ Clay.
So meet us there. We're gonna have a great time, you guys. A great time.
Yes.
So what are we talking about tonight, Gail?
We're talking about why do people still get married?
Why do they want to get married?
Or why do they want to get
Why
married?
do
I'm sorry, I
people
had to
want
change
to
the
get
topic.
married?
Yeah.
Why do people want to get married?
I can tell you why I want to get married.
Why do you want
Let's
to get
start
married?
there.
Let's start
That's a
there.
great start.
That's a great start. I think that it is this is of course what I'm thinking because I've never been married before. I think that it is the ultimate commitment. I think it is a way to, I don't know, blend your life with someone and it not just be something that you could, if it doesn't feel like it's, working out, that you get the opportunity to just walk away. I think it gives you a lot more of stick to itness. We have to work at this. And I just feel like there's a level of security in that
Yeah.
you don't have, and even if it's a long-term relationship that you have, in a marriage, you have a lifetime partner. You feel like you can navigate this world and you are truly with someone. And I'm not saying that I don't
You're
have
such a
that
great
now.
wife. You're so loving. You are. You're such a great wife.
But I just feel like biblically, that relationship is probably going to be more blessed because you are doing things the right way. You aren't fornicating, and it's pleasing to God. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, I got married very young. Well, to me, it was very young. And I think I've shared this before. It was the fourth person I ever dated. And I think that some people look at marriage like an elevator. Like, okay, we've been dating for so long. This is the top floor. We might as well just do the damn thing. So my ex-husband and I, when we were dating, we dated for I think 3 or 4 years before we got married. We were like, okay, it's time to get married. And we were largely one of the first people in our group to get married. So it was like a big Greek party, and it was great. And we grew together. And you're right, it is the ultimate commitment. And people, it's financial stability. We were, now I think at this age, in 50s, which is what we largely talk about, what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting married for financial stability. I think we talked about hospice wives and things like that. We had that conversation. So some people are actually getting married because they're looking for emotional stability, and some people are just out now looking for a servant.
So let me ask you this question: do you think that people are still getting married for love? Or do you feel like it's other reasons that trump it?
Social norms say you're supposed to have companionship. And I think because we know we need each other, we need each other. Nobody wants to die alone, so people are thinking like, okay, like just like some people in their 20s say, okay, let's make a pact in our 40s. If we're not committed, we're gonna have a baby together. Some people are making pacts like, okay, if we're not by 65, or we're not together, I mean, if we don't have somebody, then let's just spend our lives together. I know some women who have proposed that to me, like if we're not married by the time we're 70, let's just all get a house together, like the Golden Girls. So I think it's just the companionship that people are seeking. Yes, love is important.
I was waiting for you to just answer my
Well,
question.
I actually did answer that. I said that first. I did. I said that first. But I just expounded on it. But I think, yeah, love is important. And anybody with half a brain knows that you just can't go into something as serious as marriage without having some feelings or some type of degree of love for that person, because you are.
So my question was a comparison. It was for you to weigh. Like, do you think that people are marrying for love, or do you think they're marrying for all these other reasons that you just stated?
I think it is both.
Gary?
I think it's both.
What do you think?
For me personally, I mean, I would want to marry for love. I would want to make, I love, hey, I want to be with you. And I would want to let the world know, leave me alone. I'm with her. So that would be.
I would hope that you would do that.
But that's a big part of it for me, is that, just the declaration and, just being with that person and trying to make it work, trying to really, really work at something and do everything that was in my power to do so it could work.
And I have a question for you, Kim, because you're the only person in this space that has been married before. You dated your husband, your boyfriend, your fiance, and when you got married, did you feel after the nuptials that there was a different level to that commitment? Or was that something you grew into, or did you just feel like, oh my God, we're married? It feels different.
It felt the same, and that's because we lived together. So we came home, it felt the same. We were living in California because his job took him out there, and we were living together in a little apartment, and so it felt the same. But after a while, as we grew older, it felt like very serious and we felt very connected to one another. So, and in a way, we still are, because we still have children
But
together.
it does matriculate into this,
Yes, absolutely.
intense connection. Okay,
It
that's
is
what I wanted to know.
intense in a beautiful way, because some
Yeah.
people would take intense as like, oh, that's too serious, it's too much for me. No, it's beautiful. Marriage is beautiful. It is beautiful.
I love intensity.
The feeling of belonging to someone is beautiful. And it's different from dating or just cohabitating. It is,
Yeah.
and some people don't think it is, because some people, when they live together for a long time, they're like, well, we're almost like we're married. It's not the same. It's like people who say, oh, I have dogs, so those are my children. It's not the same. You understand what I'm saying? You may love your dogs, but it's not the same. Marriage is definitely the ultimate commitment. It is. And it forces you to work things out, because you can walk away, you can go upstairs, you can go, out with your friends or spend the weekend at a hotel to get away if you've had an argument, but really, you gotta come back home to that person and you gotta look them in the face. You have to work it out.
Right. That was what I felt like the reasons why I wanted to get married, so I could have that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For people who are looking to get married,
Mm-hmm.
what would be advice that you would tell them before entering into that? Because we all want what we don't have, right? It's the unknown.
Yeah.
It's in your mind. It's all beautiful. It's all roses, and
The grass is always greener
Yeah.
on the other side.
on the other side. But going into it, and you've been on both sides, married and now divorced, could you offer somebody?
Well, a person who is looking to get married, I would tell them, think about why you want to get married. Do you want to get married because you just want the wedding? You just want the ring? You want the glamour of it? Or or societal norms say you should have a husband because you guys have children together, or you have a child and now you want to be a missus? Or do you really want to spend your life with that person, only having sex with them, that's your best friend, that's your built-in best friend? Because everybody ain't ready for that. It is serious.
So,
Everybody is not ready for that.
Gary, you as a man,
Mhm.
do you feel, and I understand that you take marriage very seriously. I understand that your parents had a beautiful relationship and an honest and trusting type of love.
Mhm.
How long
So,
were your parents married?
My parents were married for 58 years.
I love that.
and only separated through death.
Mhm.
So,
They were never apart from each other for more than 3 days.
I love that.
Mhm.
And so that's your example, you know what I mean, of what you view marriage, that type of commitment. From a perspective of a man who's been single for many years, though, do you feel that, not necessarily you, but maybe your peers who are in the same position as you, go into marriage with that same type of mindset, or do they go into marriage thinking that I always could get divorced if it doesn't work?
I want to say this. I'm really looking forward to marriage for this reason. Because I need somebody that's a guardrail. That's going to say, no, you can't buy a motorcycle because we are trying to, give a fence or
You want a
something.
voice of reason?
Yeah, because, everything that I wanted to make sense to me, which we know the bar is very low, I do. And I need someone that's, to refocus me, to put me back on track. You ask about, do people or do men go into it knowing that they can get out of it? I don't have it. Nobody in my friends group, that I know of has come into it like that. I mean, it got to that point in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody that I knew. But I know people that are not necessarily in my friends group that are like, man, if this don't work, I can bounce.
So wait, they just got married, or have they been married for a long time and thinking that they could just bounce?
Yeah, I mean,
Are these
I've
people
run into people who were going into it, I'm trying this out. I'm gonna do this marriage thing, see how it
Mhm.
works.
Okay.
It was like a pair, the new Jordans. I'm trying them out, see if I like them. If I like them, I'm gonna keep them. If not,
So, Kim and Gary for this question. Maybe you for part one and you for part two. When you got married, it was years ago. You were young, and fast forward to 2024. Life is different. People are different. Times are different. Roles
Very
are
much
different.
Very
So, if you ever got married again, would your role, you're a traditional girl for the most part, would it be the same? Would it be different because you have your own career, you have established yourself independently? Would your role in the marriage still be the same, or would there be some different nuances? And then Gary, fast forward to you for part two. Had you gotten married right after college, and if you got married today, would you be the same type of husband?
I feel like I'm on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'll tell you why I'm asking after you answer the question.
As far as like what the things that I would do differently, or would my roles be the same?
You'll be married, but yeah.
I am traditional,
Mm-hmm.
very much so. I am a plate fixer and all of that, and I I am definitely that. So
You even
that,
fix my plate, child.
I know that I'm just a nurturing person. I'm just, but that wouldn't change because that's who I am.
Right.
So that nurturing part of me would be the same way. I'm the one, and I am traditional. I am doing most of the cooking and cleaning, but I'm just thinking about all the funny stories. My husband taking off his pants, and I'm snatching them right up and throwing them in the washing machine. He was like, I was just gonna put those back on, but he's walking around like, damn. So, but yeah, those things would stay the same. What was a part of your question?
What would be different because you are?
Well, so let me say what's different now about marriages, because your parents they had their own challenges, for sure. But now we have social media, and that is messing up a whole lot of relationships and marriages. And so kudos to the people who are still married, who have survived that.
Surviving.
Who are surviving that, and who are each other's friends on social media and off of social media, because that social media is a blessing and a curse. So we have so many things, like all this technology and modes that people can step outside their marriage with dating apps. Like, it's a whole lot of married men, married people, I'm sure, but I am woman-seeking man. But it's men on dating apps. So I foresee that there would be some people who would have some issues with that. Like, if I were dating someone, well, let me just stick to your question. There are a whole lot of things that would stay the same about me because that's who I am. Things that would change, I don't know. I think it would probably depend upon the individual. I'm not going to marry someone that I can't trust, and trust became an issue.
But your level of independence, this was not really about the imaginary man, it's about you.
My level of independence?
Yeah, you are, established. You have
But
your
I was that
career.
thin, so that
You have a lot of things, irons in the fire.
I was that thin, so that I don't. That again, so that who I am probably wouldn't change. It wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have been a horrible husband in my 20s.
You did
and
say that, and I
30s.
do believe you.
I mean, I
No argument.
there were some serious growth opportunities, and I mean, I don't even know that I've completely grown as much as I need to, but I'm much more in a mindset of where I know that those things need to happen. I know that I need to be a better version of myself than I was then. I'm willing to do those things. I don't even know that I would have known that I was messing up back then. I would have thought it was
Really?
normal. Oh yeah. I would have seriously thought that it was normal behavior. Even though I had great examples.
You would have thought it, or you would have convinced yourself?
Oh, I would have lived it. I mean, I would have been a horrible husband.
Okay.
I-
Were you almost married when you were younger, or was it a time when you were close to marriage?
I had 3 times. I've been engaged 3 times. You know, one I messed up, one she
How
messed
old
up,
were
and
you?
one was a tie. I dated my college girlfriend, and we were engaged from probably like 22 until 24.
Mm-hmm.
I dated someone not immediately thereafter, but you know, maybe a couple years after that. And then there was another one in the last 15 years or so.
Do you think that back then and or now that you know how to compromise?
I know how to compromise a lot better. I was unwilling. I mean, you know, it was a great time to be me in my 20s and 30s.
Great time to be you.
Oh, it was, oh my God. It was
But I mean,
unbelievable.
were you the type of dude that was like, it's my way or the highway? I'm the man.
I wouldn't have necessarily phrased it like that, but de facto, yes, that's how it would have come across.
So you've been hard to deal with.
I didn't think I was. I mean, I didn't think that there was anything wrong. I didn't, even though I had great examples, I knew right from wrong, all of those things. I didn't see my behaviors as anything that, you know, somebody shouldn't be willing to put up with.
And now you do?
At times, no, yes, I see that. I do. I understand. I've had to grow. And, you know, some of that was through, you know, watching other people. Some of it was, you know, messing up some opportunities that were pretty good. Some of it was just, you know, you get tired of beating your head against a wall. You keep doing the same thing and you're getting the same results. And so all of those things kind of got me to where I am now. But where I am now is miles away from where I was. Where I was, I would have been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know, in this day and age, we are who we are. I don't know if there's, I'm not
You
saying
going to
that
tell us why you were asking the questions?
it probably lends to this.
Okay.
You can't really morph yourself into a different person at this age. You are who you are.
That's exactly right.
And you are who you are. You are who you are. I am who I am. So moving forward, if we all found mates, me being who I am, I'm going to be me. And you're either gonna have to love me or not.
Or leave me.
Right, just leave me where I am. I'm not saying that I don't know how to compromise or make some concessions.
Absolutely.
But
yeah. And you will
innately-
evolve and you will grow as a person and as a woman.
But innately, my character,
The core of who you are.
the core of me is going to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, if you are somebody who doesn't like a very literal person, I'm not your person.
Doggone right.
I'm
Literal
just not
Lucy.
her. Right? Literal Lucy. If that drives you crazy, you like to talk around in circles, I'm not your girl.
Like, she
Right.
said, I'm like, God damn it.
You know, I process with your words, right? So mean what you say and say what you mean. So you can't find a person who checks all the boxes, but yet they want to change it. The
Sure.
core of you. Now, you know, they like long hair, you have short hair. You could grow some, you could buy some. Okay, you could work with that.
You said
You're-
the person who checks all the boxes. You mean the person who says you check all their boxes?
Either
and then
or.
tries to change you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's annoying.
And you can't do that even though you're like, you had said, I just want to get married. You know what I mean? I don't want to be alone. I need a companion. And the friend of the friend who's really not your friend, but those people who are like, if it doesn't work out, I'll get a divorce. Because they know that person really isn't their person. And even though they may be handsome or pretty or, you know, fine and, you know, she's got a big butt or whatever it
My
is,
mother likes her.
makes a lot of money, you know, cooks, whatever it is, if they don't meet your standard or requirement. And for me, if there's not love in there, and not just love like I love you, because you can love a lot of people, but that kind of love that makes you feel like I can't wait to get home to be with you. Not that kind of, I like a lot of things about her, but damn, every time I see her and she
Right.
walk, she getting on my nerves.
The
You know,
sound
me
of
out.
her voice.
Just the sound of her voice, these things that she can't change.
Right.
I think it's better not to get married, right? And just continue to keep searching for the one than to say, I want to do this before I die, kind of thing.
I think people are much more likely now, if they are not really feeling someone, to not go ahead and go through it. I know people that had serious reservations pre-marriage,
Yeah.
and they stayed in it. And I only know of one person that pulled the plug pre-marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else I know kind of went and did the thing,
And
it
they're
turned out.
right in it?
In some cases,
Okay. Are they still married?
no.
Oh, so they didn't work
He
out.
pulled the plug, right?
Yeah.
They didn't even go to the altar, did they?
One did.
Don't you want somebody who would give you a kidney? Don't you want somebody who would, take a bullet, shield you? Don't you want somebody who, for sure when they're praying for you? That's what I want.
So
I just don't want
I'm
somebody
like
to
that.
put me in a home.
someone just sent me a video in Facebook. They just sent me a video of 3 men talking. So I don't know if it was a webcast or it looked like some type of recorded webcast. And one of they were talking about like marriage and these 3 black men. And I guess the question was if what would you do if a robber comes up to you and your spouse, you and your wife, and she trips and falls? What would you do? 2 of the men were like, I'm going back to get my woman. One man was like, I'm gonna keep running. And they were like, you wouldn't go get your wife? And then he was like, no, I'm not getting ready to die for my wife. No. And they were like, so wait a minute. And they had
He
to.
didn't understand the assignment.
So wait,
Maybe he did.
they thought he didn't understand, so they tried to go back over. He was like, I'm not dying for my wife.
I'm saying he didn't understand the assignment.
When he got married.
Right.
Right.
In my world,
Okay, so
in my world, I'm a protector. That's naturally what I do. And if I have a choice, I'm protecting my wife. I would gladly lay down my wife, my kids, my whomever. That's part of the deal. That's on page 53.
Yeah.
It's right there. You have to do that. You can't be the man in my world, and you're like, oh baby, I'm gonna miss you. No,
it's nice meeting you.
Right.
Sorry, you're so clumsy.
anything you want to say to your mama before you get out of here? No, you
Told
can't
you
do
not to wear
that.
those shoes.
But no, you as a man, from where I'm from and my mindset, my purview, you have to die as the man dies in that situation.
Or at least takes a bullet. You don't have to die.
I mean, but
I
you have to.
mean,
I mean, but you have to be willing to.
You have
Hopefully,
to be willing.
you have to be willing to. You
Yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
into it and say that, man, if this goes horribly wrong, I'm probably going to be the one to lose my life.
Women, when we're married, we look at you as being our protector. I don't want to. That's why I guess I don't like skinny men. I don't want to feel like Shrek and I'm married to the princess. I don't. I'm not a little woman. I'm 5'7". I'm 168 pounds. I don't want to feel. I'm pressure. I don't want to feel like, like I'm married to a little man and I'm protecting him. I want.
Hey, little fellas, anyone
Right.
checking your things?
Look, I don't want to be married to a dainty little man. I just don't. So when we get married, we look at you as being our protector. We're in the bed and we hear a thump downstairs. We think you going downstairs. You want to check it out.
You're like, what was that?
Yeah, exactly. And we look at you look at no.
I think I shared the story with you all where I was dating a young lady, and she was kind of super deadly. You know,
Deadly?
deadly. I mean, like she had guns.
She's Rambo.
Oh,
Right, and she was, at the highest form of law enforcement.
Yeah,
and I don't want to tell her business.
Right, right, right.
And she probably had like taekwondo or something, blah blah blah. And so, we hear glass breaking outside, and so I look at her like, hey, I'm going to check this out, and she's like, I'm going too, and I'm like, I'm gonna need you to dial 911 and put your other finger by that other one. I'm gonna need you to sit
I
here.
think I kind of do this.
Yeah, like don't, I got this. And she's like, but I'm like, I don't care how qualified you are,
Right.
Yeah.
how much karate, what type of gun you have, man, you can come and be at like the top of the stairs for backup, but you can't go with me.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why men walk on the outside of the streets from way back in the day, in case the cars come up and, the
Run
men
over
is-
the curb.
Yeah, the men are
protect
supposed
you.
to take that.
Yeah.
And so what if a man doesn't do that? I don't want to get too far.
So
outside.
when that person sent me that inbox, my response was, I hope his wife sees this because she needs to know she's married to a punk. Her protector, in my air quotes, is a punk because you're thinking
She
that
needs
he's
to be
got
concealed
you.
and carry because he doesn't
Yeah,
have you.
he doesn't got you, girl. He doesn't.
You know Kim Cobb, right? Girl, I just think that you should know.
I know. He does not got you.
He has
does
got
not.
himself.
He has got himself.
That is
and
it.
he
That
is
is
out.
all.
And you might want to check how much life insurance he got on you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, I need a protector. Like,
But that's another thing for you. Like, for sure, a man who looks and acts and behaves like he cannot hold you down, protect you, make you feel safe, is not your man, even if he
Is
checks
not.
every other box. Because every time you go out, in the back of your mind, you're going to be looking around like,
right.
what if? And that's unsexy.
I just had this conversation earlier with someone, and not every fight that you get into you win. You do actually lose fights. It happens, but you have to go into it even sometimes knowing that you're going to lose, because you have to do that. It's just what you do.
You're talking about just in a relationship.
In a relationship,
Okay. Oh, okay.
or in any fight, you're not going to win all your
Well,
fights.
that's true.
So, but as a
You get the
man, in
balance.
my world, you have to go into that and say, man, I'm gonna die trying, or I'm going to,
Right.
it's okay if I lose. I'm not gonna win them all, but I have to do this. I don't have a choice.
Right.
I want to do this. I'm not forced. Nobody's making me, but I want to go into it and I want to defend.
So in a case where you have a person who is always got to be right, they check all the other boxes, but that is the one thing that everybody knows is about this person. Are they marriage material?
No,
No. No.
no.
Unless they marry
You
someone
might think
who
so
is-
when you're younger, but in your 50s you should know better because you have to have the art of compromise. It takes more than just love.
But I mean, that's an age-old saying. Do you want to be right or do you want to be married?
Mhm.
That's something
Yeah,
that
it
we've
is.
known very, very, very for a very long time. That being right is that's your thing, but being married is something that you do with someone else, and you're not always going to win. You're not always going to be right. You have to be willing to not be right.
But there are some people who they take issue with the words "I'm sorry" or "I apologize." Not that they can't move past it, but they just would prefer not to say those words.
And that's unfortunate.
And that is unfortunate because I feel like that doesn't leave resolve.
Right.
And it makes you feel like whatever we're arguing about has a high probability of happening again because you aren't really sorry because you
And you can't
haven't
really
really
just say,
communicated it.
I'm sorry. You have to tell what you're sorry about. Because some people will just say, I'm sorry, and just say those words so they can just be done with the
They're
conversation.
patronizing.
It's very
But
passionate.
then some people won't even say those words.
You have, and the worst thing to hear is just sorry.
Oh, that is horrible.
Yeah. So, yeah, you have to talk about I'm sorry, because really, if there's no I'm sorry followed by changed or modified behavior, then what's it for?
You're not sorry.
You're not sorry.
Yeah. So, I do feel like there's a level of maturity that has to be
Absolutely.
present from both
Yes.
parties in order
Yes.
for a marriage to work. It has to be present for the relationship to work, but certainly I believe when you commit to somebody, you have to be committed to like resolve at all times. Like
And that's the difference
resolve
in getting
in
married
this.
now in your 50s as opposed to your 20s. In your 20s, we're like, okay, let's just do it. Okay, yeah, who's paying for it? Okay, your mama pay. Okay, let's just get married. Let me pick out my dress. Who's gonna be your bridesmaids? Who's gonna be? It
We
is.
gonna have
It
fried
is.
chicken in the church basement.
Yeah, it is so different from now because you know now, when you know better, you do better, you're mature. And you know, like, okay, this is what I need. So when I hear people saying, I want to be married, women and men, by the time I'm 50, 60, 70, whatever, I want to be married. I always think, do you? Or do you just, or you want to be married because society says you shouldn't be alone? Are you ready for that?
See, but that right there brings me to the question that I have for so many, mostly women. There may be a few men, but mostly women. They'll date someone, and in their minds, they're already thinking of planning a wedding.
Absolutely. Put
You
their first name
don't
and the man's
know
last
this
name.
person.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you're really compatible. You don't even love him. Why are you thinking about marriage with this person? Not the questions.
Because
Do you want to get married? Yes, get that out the way. They check those boxes. You haven't locked yourself into a situation where the person doesn't even want what you want. Got it. But you can't, I think it's crazy to go into every relationship saying, we're going to be married in 2 years. But I just met you. I don't even know you like that.
So I think it's societal norms. I think sometimes it's financial stability. Some people are just, they're looking like, okay, at 65, this person has a good pension. Like we can do this. We can live out our years. We can, because I've met a couple of people who are like, okay, you were married how long? So in their mind, I can see their wheels spinning. You've been married before. You know how to connect. You know how to work things out. And one guy was like, I'm going to buy a house in Africa. Let's, are you kidding me? I'm not. And like seriously, this is a phone conversation. I'm going to buy a house and we can live there. Or I have I know a person who has a house, another home in, I think it's Dominican, and talking about, and I'm like, oh my God, no.
See, that sounds crazy to me.
It does sound crazy.
But there are people, and that's the man who's doing it, but there are people that do that, which for me, as a woman, so I know it makes you men take pause when a woman comes in there like,
So let me say this.
say yes to the dress, what?
I think women do it because mainly it's women who haven't been married, from my experience, who've never been married. I think women who haven't, like I've been married. I do want to be married again. I think it's beautiful, but I'm not like, chomping at the bit. But I think people who don't know me and know that I'm single assume, because I've had this on social media, assume I've never been married. And they think, okay, well, if I dangle this marriage carrot in front of her, she will be excited. Because a lot of women do want to get married. So people who don't know me and don't know my history think mentioning marriage is gonna excite me.
I think men think that in general,
They do think that.
not just
They do think that.
with a single person, but they just think that all women want to be married
They do.
to them.
Yes.
Not that, because maybe all women do. They don't, but maybe the majority really want to
Yeah.
have that lifetime companion,
Yeah.
and that ultimate commitment. But they may not want to be married to
To
you.
So funny.
Just because you're a man does not mean you are marriage material
Yeah.
or even desirable.
I had to have that conversation too. Somebody was like, "You don't want to be married?" I said, "No, I don't want to be married to you.
Right.
I don't want to be
As
married to
the
you."
air goes out of the balloon.
Yeah. I don't want to be
What?
married to you. Let's
Right.
not send mixed signals. No.
Yeah. But ultimately, I think that kind of how you felt. I think that people don't want to, be alone forever. And I believe that if you can share your life and everybody brings value to one another and it is a beautiful combustion, then I think marriage should happen. I don't think that it should be something that people run away from. And I know there are many reasons, and that's a whole nother conversation of why people don't want to get married. But this conversation is why people want to get married. So
Sorry, I had to stretch my leg.
I believe that, it should be the natural course of things if all the boxes are checked.
I think that there needs to be a better communication of the work that goes into it. I've seen a lot of people get married and they think that, oh, I have a piece of paper. You're going to stop gambling. You're going to stop cheating. You're going to stop philandering. You're going to
Can't
stop.
change the person.
Right. So, they weren't doing good before, and typically things get worse and not better. So I think that, there needs to be a communication of the work that is going to need to happen for it to be successful. Because, one of the funniest things that I ever said to my dad, and he responded, was, I was like, oh man, Dad, you and Mama don't never argue. And he was like, boy, you a bigger fool than I thought you were. He said, we argue, we just don't argue, where I denigrate her.
Right.
It's, I'm mad, so I might stop buying groceries, so she might stop cooking. And so, they existed in a space where they were able to do the things that they needed to do and have those fights, but it wasn't, somebody being a bunch of bees or a bunch of punks or, it
I don't
wasn't,
like that type of arguing.
it was things that you could come back from, not things that you couldn't walk away from.
And you hit something that to me is so important in a relationship, and I'm sure in a marriage. The success, I believe, is predicated on how people fight.
Absolutely.
If you can fight in and with love, then you have a higher probability of making it, to the end. But if you fight mean and dirty and nasty and viciously, where you are trying to injure someone, you're going to bleed out. Nobody can keep getting sewn up and then cut again without scar tissue. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
And if, your first thing is to go to the lowest form of, battle,
Man.
then it's like, how do I go lower than you? You were like in the sub basement. I didn't know that they had anything lower than that.
We're in hell.
Right, not just the basement. You were below the
clothes down here.
Clay. This is just clay, red clay.
I see the devil's furnace over there. It's if you have to fight fair. I agree with that. You have to give people grace. That after this is over, I still like you. I still want to be able to go to sleep tonight when I lay next to you.
Right.
But if you're not fighting fair, or you are in the sub basement, I don't know that you come back from that.
Yeah. But hopefully that, in a marriage, especially at this age, people can fight fair and just with resolve on the brain.
Or some more mature stuff. We agree to disagree. If it's something that, I don't see it the way that you see it, that is a product of, your experience. I'm not, this is not something that is foundational to us.
Right.
But, something I would like you to see, my way or differently.
I agree.
But, okay, we agree to disagree. We have to be able to get to that point.
Yeah.
And even if it is foundational, then you can say, okay, you can just succumb. I'm going to let you take the lead on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a marriage, it's not 50-50 ever. So sometimes he will take the lead on some things, and sometimes you will take the lead.
No, there's a bit of advice right there.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Understanding that it's not going to be 50-50 all the time
It
like
is
that.
definitely not.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah.
I picked your brain apart. Let me put it back together.
You want to put that together on July 25th? Because then July 25th, we'll all be together again.
Yes.
I think that Thursday is going to really be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
And there are so many different things going on. It's going to be really, really, really fun. And for those people who have not had an opportunity to come out, this is a great opportunity. For those people that are always telling us Saturdays are the high value real estate, Thursday night, you're going to be a little tired at home. You're probably working from home anyway.
Yeah.
Come out, have some fun with us.
Let our married people know that we have something in store for them, one of our topics. So we want you all to come out. You can bring your spouse, you can come together, but it's definitely going to be matrimony friendly, as well as all the single people who are dating and trying to navigate this single life and figure it all out. It's friendly for us all.
Come on out.
So we'll see you this Thursday, July 25th at 7 p.m.
At 1742 West 99th
at
Street.
Sanders Barbecue Restaurant. The food is good, so don't eat
Bang
before you
it.
come. Oh my gosh, stuff that I didn't think I was going to like. I was asking,
And I'm a vegetarian, and it's good. So don't let the barbecue fool you.
Don't.
The sides are exceptional.
Very good, yeah, because you don't, and I eat chicken. Did I have any chicken? I didn't even have any. Man, I had a salad with no meat, with no chicken. It was so
You're
good.
a vegetarian that day.
Yeah, I'm plant-based, but I do eat chicken. So please come and try this food. It is so good.
But the conversations guides. It's all about you. It's all
Yes.
about us. It's all about what we're doing right now.
Yes, we'll see you Thursday. Get your ticket on Eventbrite now.
We will see you then.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks for
joining
tuning in. Subscribe, leave a comment, share. Thank you.
What she said.
Ah.
You may have to put a quarter in the jar for that.
Oh, goodness.
1,
2,
2.
3. At the left, top left. Yep, there we go.
Got it.
And on the other side,